Silverstone Classic, a lovely summer's day here in England, the home of British motorsport, and we're with the Race of Legends. Some great bikes here, but I've had to zoom in on this two-stroke superbike, 500cc, a piece of history, a legend, in fact, a race legend. And luckily, one of the team members here has kindly come over to join us and tell us a bit about the machine. I've watched them go around the circuits over the years, heard them, love them. Tell us about the bike.
Well, this is one of the last two-strokes ever made. They made them in about 1997 to the year 2000, and it was a last-ditch attempt with Honda before the four-strokes took over. I look after this particular bike for race legend Freddie Spencer, who likes to ride it. Well, obviously wasn't his original bike, but it's a bike he likes, and he uses it a lot at meetings throughout Europe and all around the continent. And it's I enjoy doing it, and Freddie enjoys riding it.
A great combination. People who like doing what they like to do. But looking at the machine close up, I can see what looks to me to be a magnesium top yoke.
Yeah, they had
what's
it.
that all about?
Well, it's partly for weight. There's a lot of magnesium on these bikes, and also the magnesium does help in a way, because although it's very light and strong, it will break, and sometimes in an accident, if the bike and the rider part company, they'll snap and they can save an awful lot of damage, and they're obviously easy to repair rather than if it was a solid billet, in which case it would cause a great deal more damage. So there is a little bit more than weight, that the thought that's gone into it by Honda.
So with a machine of this ilk, goes out on circuit, I presume it gets reasonably hammered. I wouldn't say necessarily nailed.
Well, I think you could say nailed.
It's going to get nailed, yeah.
I think people like...
we like that. Get yourself down to Silverstone Classic.
Freddie Spencer and co. certainly still know how to ride a bike.
So typically, once it's been round, what sort of work are you looking at back on a machine? Yeah, you might have new tyres and new chain, but what other sort of...
You complete... On a two-stroke, the minimum, you've got to completely rebuild the engine, you've got to put in new rings, you've got to put in fairly frequently brand new pistons, you've got to check the crank. It's a complete rebuild. You can't just pull these bikes out of a shed and put a bit of air in the tyres and a bit of fuel in the tank. They require a lot of love and attention.
And in terms of parts, the availability of parts, is that a challenge, or is it...
It's a real challenge, because there's very few of these bikes about, and so it's not just getting a hold of the bikes, it's getting a hold of the spares, and if you can't get the spares, you'll have to get bits made, and they've got to be made to the same high standards. So yeah, it's a bit of a labour of love. It's not simple.
And well, that's perhaps one of the great things with here at Silverstone and this the Race of Legends package.
The Legends have put together quite a good package, and they're trying to promote the Legends. So as you can see, they've got other bikes here. So what they're trying to do is to promote the Legends and the riders, promote the old bikes, and also to bring in some new bikes which are obviously going to be a little bit more reliable, and also probably put things on a level playing field, because some of these older bikes, some of them are 120 brake horsepower and some of them are 180 brake horsepower.
Big difference.
Yeah, they move on, and it's not really fair to put one out against another one if the riders are going to ride competitively.
No, what I was thinking though was of how, as we can see, great crowds here gather. You can get right up close to these machines and check them out.
And that's very important. It's very important that people can get to see the riders, can get to see the bikes, can come up close and see them, because that's what they want. That's the public want to do that, and I've always felt it's extremely important. And less these days, especially with some of the more elite sports, you really can't get near the riders or drivers or the bikes, and that in my mind is very sad.
Yeah, if we're into this kind of thing, we love to see it, smell it.
Yeah, feel it, touch it, be there, and be part of it.
So I've got to ask these silly questions now. Talking about brake horsepower, what's this What's this?
Well,
Fish out?
these really were running about 135 brake horsepower, but this bike is extremely small and very, very light and nimble, and it was built really because to maximise on what was in its day a limited horsepower. The competitive bikes were probably running 25 or more brake horsepower more than this, but this was light and nimble and easy to ride, or relatively easy to ride. I'm not making light of it.
Won't tell Freddie that.
No, don't. He'll tell you himself.
But no, thanks for taking the time out.
You're very welcome.
You see, you're all busy boys here, fettling your kit. An icon.
Thank you.
Check out the race of. I keep getting this wrong. I do apologise. The race of legends. Great bikes.
World GP legends. They're doing a good job.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.